You're watching Lore of the Internet, and this is what's the dumbest thing your significant other has said or done? Current girlfriend thought the movie showings during the day were manatee shows. I had to explain to her that they were in fact matinee shows. Also convinced my ex-wife that the little pepper balls you grind to make pepper were the seeds from a pepperoni plant, and that pepperoni wasn't actually meat and grew straight up out of the ground like an earth dick. I asked him to plant a baby tree in the back garden. The next day I saw it and thought it looked strange. I walked up to it and it had been planted upside down. He thought the roots were tiny limp branches. I laughed for days. She told me she only waxes her legs because if you shave one hair, then it splits and two grow back in its place.
Hey, Hydra!
Oh god. We bought a new car. She asked me if I'd changed the settings to Spanish because it said ajar on the dash when the door was open. We were driving through some back roads and passed a couple pastures. She saw some cows and started very excitedly trying to get my attention, grabbing on my arm saying, babe, look how fat those horses are." I've never let it go, and she still doesn't think it's funny. As I'm in labor with our daughter, my husband asks, "Do you want her to have an innie or an outie belly button?" Weird question, but whatever. So I tell him I don't mind either way, both are cute. Then he says, "Yeah, but when the doctor asks, which should we pick for her?" He thought that when they clamp the umbilical cord, parents tell the doctor what type of belly button they prefer. He's really smart, I promise. One time my husband called me at work. "Babe, you're gonna be mad. I made a mess, but don't worry, I'll fix it." I didn't even ask, just sighed because he's basically Lucy from I Love Lucy. When I got home a little bit later, it was to a living room covered in gray powder. My husband completely filthy with a trash bag and a broom and a super panicked look on his face. Turned out he'd decided to help around the house and wanted to clean the fireplace. He just decided the best way to do it would be to stand in front of it with a trash bag and use a leaf blower to blow the ashes in. Spoiler, that doesn't work. I didn't want to hurt his feelings, but I laughed my ass off and it's still one of my favorite weird things he's done. My favorite memory of my parents is going to some fast food joint through the drive-thru. Mom is driving, giving orders to our cashier. Just as she finishes, my dad casually says, "To go," to my mom, and she turns back to the cashier and says, "To go." 2 seconds of buffering later, she slaps my dad full on in the chest, who's laughing fucking hysterically. Don't ever think we let her live that down. My girlfriend in college attended my graduation and afterwards said to me, "Man, there are a lot of people the name Lottie." Each time someone was given their degree, it was announced whether they were graduating cum laude or not. My girlfriend thought America's largest family graduated from university with me that day, the Lottie family, and they all looked unrelated. My boyfriend, as we were looking up at the beautiful night sky. Wow, there's so much we don't know about the universe. Like, where do the stars go during the day? Are they still there? If not, where do they go? He was dead serious. My husband and I were at Canadian Tire and they had tiny examples of tents. Basically looked like they were made for Barbie dolls, and the pricing for each underneath. He turned to me shocked and asked, "Why are these so expensive for such tiny tents?" I almost died laughing. As we were driving along the road, we saw a horse with its head over a gate. We slowed down, she opened the window and says, "Moo." Once me and my significant other went for a walk around a local nature reserve. On the way in, we got a map given to us so we could navigate the area. Later on the walk, she's looking at the map and says to me, "These maps really need a 'you are here' on them." It took me a couple seconds to realize what she meant, so I explained to her that it was a handheld map and it wouldn't be possible. It took 4 to 5 attempts before it clicked with her. One time while dating my now wife, we got into a playful pinching fight while I was driving. Probably not a great idea, but we were young. She starts getting frustrated and pinching harder, but my right arm was hooked on her left arm, like when you walk together with your arms hooked in movies. She pinched herself and thought it was me. She pinched so hard she screamed and got mad. Her next reaction was what made me almost crash. She doubled down and did it again, harder, and screamed even louder. Somehow she didn't realize it was her arm and the way we were hooked together, even though in that position I had no way to touch her. She was getting pissed because I was cracking up. Just remembering her anger and confusion always makes me laugh. My boyfriend thought his sushi roll was a cross-section of a raw eel. Nothing too dumb. I have a fan with different settings labeled L, M, H for how fast the fan spins. She was looking at it and told me she set the fan to large. Now ex-girlfriend from high school. Her power had gone out in the neighboring town. She called crying, saying she had so much homework to complete. I said drive to my house since I still have power. She yelled at me saying, "How dare you attempt to get me to drive? How do you expect me to do that? My headlights won't work." It didn't last much longer after that. He picked up our friend's keys thinking one of her keychains was a laser pointer. It was Mace. He got a nice spray to the face, and I was sitting right next to him, so I got a lovely dose as well. For the next 30 minutes or so, our entire apartment was coughing and dying, trying to air the place out. Even our friend who was upstairs showering could feel the effects. Still love him though. Update. Boyfriend wants to clarify, he thought it was a lighter or air freshener, not a laser. Still doesn't help his case very much. In high school, my girlfriend said, "Do you know what I just realized? There's no state that starts with the letter F." We went to school in Florida. My eldest child was born December 2004. This was the year that we found out that London had won the bid for the 2012 Olympics. It was announced that children born on 2012 would get free entry to the Olympics. But what if they're not any good at sports? I had to gently explain to him it was free entry to watch the Olympics. And now X, but we were trying to dirty talk and couldn't think of the word clit. So instead, he said tiddly-bid. I was laughing so much that we couldn't continue. My girlfriend from senior year in high school said that she was going to pick up some birth control from Planet Parenthood. I said, "Don't you mean Planned Parenthood?" Good thing I didn't get her Purgante. On the phone trying to describe where we are to her parents. We are behind the car that is in front of us. I lost it. My wife couldn't think of the word wood and told me to clean up my tree chunks. She genuinely thought Barack Obama's name was Black Obama. I could write a book. Couple of examples. She thought dragons existed. Now, I don't mean she thought that they were the same as dinosaurs. I mean her favorite movie is How to Train Your Dragon, and she believed that those movies accurately portrayed how Vikings lived. She genuinely thought Vikings and dragons lived alongside each other. I don't know if she thought that Vikings actually rode the dragons or not, but at the very least, she believed they coexisted. She believed that the earth is made of water. She thought you could just swim to the bottom of the ocean and come out of the other side of the freaking planet. That one took a long time for me to convince her that she had it wrong. Heck, I'm not even sure that I have convinced her. Thank you for watching Lore of the Internet. Let us know in the comments if there was a time your significant other said something that wasn't so smart. And of course, be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. We'll see you in the next episode.